Shalom, 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 loved ones. This is Z from 1123 Ministries, where we level up everyone we serve spiritually and financially. If you're not leveling up with us, you're not fully in. You're not honoring your covenant portion. You're not receiving from your covenant portion. It's you. It's not us. And we know it ain't God because we are blessed over here. That's why I keep testifying. I keep testifying on my dad because he loves me, spoils me right, not rotten. And you need to know that our God does things all the time, every day in the life of people who believe him and who are in covenant with him, who are seeking after him and advancing the kingdom. I bless you in Jesus' name. Thank you so much for sitting with me today, April 13th, 2023. It's Thursday. And it is getting hot up here in the desert. It's up above 85 degrees, and it's not supposed to be because I did not ordain or allow that. I didn't order it, and I want some rain. So it's coming. All right, loved ones, I have an exciting testimony to share with you today. You may have already seen the TikTok video from yesterday, but I'm going to give you the full details because you know the testimony gets you hype and it helps you overcome and it builds your faith and it lets you know that God is real and he's moving and doing things in the lives of believers every single day. And it doesn't even matter who you are. I'm a complete nobody, and yet the Lord gives me everything that I want. And I know how to operate and function within the kingdom system. I give, and it's given to me. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over. Men are pouring into my bosom, into my destiny, into my vision, into my mission, into my life, because Jesus said it, and it can't return void, right? You give, and it's given to you. So I've been doing these little testimony videos because I used to do them all the time. Back in the day, I used to do Testimony Tuesday because there's always something to testify about. Listen, if you give the Lord the opportunity to be who he is, he will show up in your life and do amazing things. Like in prayer last night, the Lord was saying through one of the prophets there, he was saying that, I've placed this banquet before you, a complete bounty. Hop up to the table and get what you want. And of course, I'm greedy when it comes to my dad. So I'm like grabbing, 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 grabbing. I want all of it, all of it, all of it. And then when I got up this morning, I had a need. So I went back and got some more. And of course, he provided. Those things I grabbed in the spiritual, all it takes is an angel to release it into the natural, to just drop it right in front of me. And that happened. So I give God all praise, honor, and glory for that. That's not even the best testimony. That's just a little bit of exciting, normal kingdom life, which you should be living. All right. So this is what happened. We go to the Southwest Believers Conference, right, in Texas in August. And so I started looking at the tickets in March, and I was like a little bit upset because the tickets were $591. Last year, we paid $405 for each of the 3 tickets that we bought. And so I was like, $591, I don't want to pay that. So, I said, Dad, I'm not paying $591 for this plane ticket. It shouldn't be that expensive. So on Expedia, you know how they have a thing where you can watch the price of the ticket. There's also an app out there called the Hopper app that does the same thing where you can watch the price of tickets. But I don't need 2 apps. Expedia does it just fine. So I clicked watch, and I kept saying, nope, I'm not paying for that. Nope, I'm not paying for that. I need you to go down. I need you to go down. And so I would look at the app a couple times a week and say, nope, you need to go down. So they went down to like 560 something. Then they went down to 550 something. Then they went down to 531. Then they went down to 516. And then yesterday I got the notification came through and it's like, your ticket that you've been watching is down to $422. So I just snapped up that bad boy right away so that I could get to Texas. And let me tell you how I got this ticket at the price that I wanted, but also was able to pay for the ticket because I got the money for my ticket to Texas like a week and a half ago. And I was about to buy my ticket to Texas, but it still wasn't at the price I wanted. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to sew someone a ticket to the My Money Grows on Trees conference, and then I'm going to get the ticket for the price that I want. So I sewed my ticket, my money to buy somebody else a ticket so they could come to the conference, and then somebody sewed me into me so that I could go and buy my ticket to Texas. So hot diggity dog, you reap what you sow. And you may be saying, I don't have money to sew a ticket to get another plane ticket. Well, it's the same situation. You're sewing a plane ticket, and then somebody else is going to make sure you get your ticket. The Father will make sure you get your ticket some kind of way because you reap what you sow. That's how it works. That's how he set this up. Genesis 8:22 tells us that as long as the earth remains, there will be seed time and harvest. So that's how it goes. That's how it works. So you will have enough for your ticket because he'll either make sure somebody gets you the money or somebody else will flat out buy you your plane ticket for whatever it is that you're trying to do. Okay. So you reap what you sow. Just like I sold Apple products and I ended up getting the money for those iPhones that I wanted to buy. And my son's about to go buy his either within the next week or two. Remember, I did that iPhone testimony last month because I got that iPhone. See, I sold Apple products. I sold an iPad and some other stuff into someone. And then I was sewing specifically to buy two brand new iPhones for my son and I because we've had our other ones for a long time. Like I had mine for a really long time. I was on a 7. He was at least on the, like, it was like an X or something like that. It was, one of those, I don't know what it was called, something. It wasn't like a number, but it was time to get new phones. And I was just going to buy, I usually, when I upgrade the phone, I usually buy something that's a couple of years old because it's less expensive if you just buy it and be done. And my son, he doesn't have any type of poverty mindset to him because he grew up sowing and giving, and he's seen the Lord provide for him his entire life, since 13 years old, since he started sowing and giving. So he was like, why in the world are you going to spend that much money on an iPhone and then not buy the very best, the absolute latest? And so I started thinking about that, and I was like, you know what? He's right. Why am I going to buy, an iPhone 12? That is a huge increase going from a 7 to a 12, but why? That's like 7 phones, right? But why would I not just get the top of the line, the very best? And so I got the top of the line, the very best, because my dad wants me to have the very best. He does. Like, you can go and find all kind of scriptures in the Bible that God's like promising thing after thing after thing after thing to you. But if you don't believe it, or you think it's too much for you because you're supposed to be poor or some other nonsense somebody, the enemy, has told you to believe, then of course you may not have that same perspective. But God didn't put this wonderful world here and all these wonderful things in it so that believers didn't have anything. He put it all there so that we have all things richly to enjoy. That's scripture. That's biblical. And if you've decided not to believe that stuff, well, then, you stay broke, you stay sad, you stay buying used, and I'm getting brand new, getting the top of the line, getting the best, right? Just like I was going to buy some jewelry last night, and I was like looking online, just looking at like generic stuff. And I was like, wait a second, why don't I look at the Cartier store? Why don't I look at the Tiffany store? Why am I going to be, looking at this random stuff here? And so I went and looked and found what I wanted at the Cartier store. And there's one in Phoenix. I can hop up the road and go pick it up. So, you don't have to, you don't have to be broke as a believer. And if you are still in that mindset, with all those misconstrued construed scriptures that people pull out of the Bible to try to tell you why you shouldn't be, why you shouldn't have things, while they're asking you to tithe into their churches and ministries to keep them going, right? That if you believe into that foolishness, you're going to be, far out. And of course, like if you're thinking in any way about, greed and all that stuff, then you just don't love the Lord above everything else. If greed is your concern when the topic of money is mentioned, then you just don't have an immense love for the Lord. Because when you love the Lord like crazy, greed is not a thing for you. I mean, it doesn't even exist because like he lavishes you with so much, it's you who's not taking it. That's pride. You're pretty that way. You gotta start believing the Lord, start loving the Lord, and then you'll start getting everything that you need. I posted that on social media the other day, right? If you start messing around with Yahweh, in a little bit of time, you're going to have all of your needs met, and then you're going to be asking him for wants because you don't need anything, right? You can get to that place. I've been to that place. I've gone from homelessness to shopping at the Cartier store. So, the Lord can do it. And I ain't got no job with nobody, making $100,000 salary or anything like that, because I have a contract. This is all from sowing and reaping. I live by the seed. I've lived by the seed forever. Speaking of that, I do have part 1 of my interview with Berlin Newby on the Spirit Centered Business podcast. And you can go to spiritcenteredbusiness.com/podcast and watch the podcast tonight. It's at 7 p.m. Eastern. So here in 20 minutes, the first part of that interview is airing tonight. Definitely check it out. I'm going to be speaking at the Economic Empowerment Conference in Baton Rouge, Louisiana on April 25th at 6 p.m. So if you're in that area or you want to travel to get there, come see me and Patty. And the church is United Christian Faith Ministries. And you can look them up on the internet. You can look them up on Facebook and get the address for the place if you would like to join us. And then, of course, we do have my Money Grows on Trees Revelation Wealth Conference 2023. It's our second conference, same location in Tucson, Arizona, April 28th and 29th. You do not want to miss this. We have so much testimony, so much testimony. One of the speakers, matter of fact, I was dreaming about her over and over and over again, like dreaming about her for like 3 weeks. And then the Lord finally told me that he had a testimony, a word for her. You know, he was about to do something in her finances. And so before I told her what he said, I was like, okay, well, I'm extending an invitation to you to speak at the conference because I want your testimony, because this one is going to be huge. And it was huge. And the thing is that he's just getting started, because once the first prophetic word about your finances comes through and he manifests it, and this is the awesome thing, because I asked her for that testimony to come speak at the conference. We all had faith that the Lord was going to manifest it before the conference. So, bam. With faith, everything's possible. But anywho, so I asked her to speak at the conference, and she said, yeah, I'd be honored to. And I was like, okay, well, since you said yes, I want this testimony of this blah, 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 that the Lord spoke to you. So she'll be sharing that with you, and it's going to be good. It's going to spark your faith. It's going to ignite things. I'm telling you, you have to, get rid of all the religiosity, all of the churchianity and foolishness and nonsense, and get to know the Godhead for yourself, because they don't have any problem with you having all your needs met. Matter of fact, it's you're kind of an idiot not to have, and take it how you want it. You know, you can get mad or you can listen to what I'm saying. You're kind of an idiot if you don't have all your needs met, when God has this system called sowing and reaping. Has nothing to do with a job, has nothing to do with education, has nothing to do with your height, your looks, your weight, any of that stuff. It's all based on you being willing to trade into his economy. It's your choice. There's no reason that anybody, especially in the house of God, should not have all of their needs met, when all you have to do is sow. And I sowed my way out of homelessness with change, pocket change. So if I can do that, imagine what you can do when you actually have a job and you're able to sow into the kingdom, trade into the kingdom. And the thing is, like, if you have issue about giving up your money, that's your love of money that you need to break off of you, so that you don't have any trouble giving. Because the Lord said, given it will be given to you. He said, I give seed to the sower. So if you actually wanted to trade into his kingdom, he would make sure that you have what it is that you need. For example, I have some subscription services, and I usually don't like them. I usually just like to charge, one amount for everything, be done with it. You're either in or you're not. But some people need to be able to make payments for things each month. And so I set it up that way. People come and go with that type of stuff. They're so inconsistent. And it's ridiculous, because if you actually understood what you were doing while you're making that monthly payment into my life, as a prophet, you're sowing into the prophet's reward. You're not just getting the revelation that's coming to you, but you're literally sowing into the prophet's reward. And the Lord will make sure you have that seed, because I have subscriptions and monthly seeds that I sow out to ministries and things like that. And I don't even like automatic payments, because I don't like people having my account like that. But no matter what I'm spending, and I'm not like keeping track of every little detailed dollar and stuff like that. I always have money to make those automatic payments. You know why? Because I'm sowing into the kingdom. I'm trading into the kingdom. And my expectation with God is that, because I am sowing into the kingdom, I'm trading into the kingdom, it is your responsibility to provide seed to the sower. So if you sign up for automatic payments and then you're quitting the next month, give the Lord the opportunity to provide that for you. And now I'm not talking about your foolishness, like you're ordering, monthly, those, how they have those subscriptions where you get like a jewelry pack or whatever it is a month. That's not necessarily what I'm talking about. I'm talking about understanding what you're doing when you're trading into something that is literally advancing the kingdom. And yes, there are Christian businesses that do all of that, and still the Lord will make sure you have money for that. But my point is that it's 25 piddlywink dollars a month, and I know you eat out for more than $25 a month. So you need to change your mind about money and how it works, so that you can actually begin to prosper, and making those payments to come into covenant with somebody who's going to help you make 100,000 and then millions. Is not a struggle for you, right? So you need to be understanding the way God's financial system works, and get out of this natural system, because it doesn't work. You're in it, but you're supposed to be above it. And everybody connected to me, the Lord teaches us how to rise up and out. Well, not everybody, because some people don't want to do what's required of them. But you rise up and out of this natural system, and then you end up moving in God's system. And he takes care of everything. That's what I said. If you mess around with Yahweh long enough, doing what he does, getting to know him, seeing him face to face, you're going to end up with all of your needs met. Plus, it's impossible for you to be seeking after the kingdom first and not have all of your needs met. Plus, right? It's absolutely impossible. And if you say that's not true, then you don't even believe God. Are you even a believer? Are you even saved? You might want to find out, because that's weird to have that type of mentality when you can't even see salvation, but you can see him working out your finances, making sure that you have all your needs met, making sure that you're in hell. How can you believe for salvation but you can't believe for finances, which you can see tangibly, and health, which you can see tangibly? You don't believe the Lord for that stuff, but you believe you're saved. You might want to check and be sure that you're saved. And all you have to do is say, Yeshua, if you are my Messiah, will you please show up and reveal yourself to me? Prove to me that I am saved. And he'll show up. And sometimes he says, no, you're not saved. You don't actually believe. And then you work it out with him from there, right? So I bless you in Jesus' name. I pray something here ministered to your spirit. If you're somebody who knows how to live spirit first, it did minister to you, because the Lord ain't no joke. He will take care of his children and just blow your mind. He was showing up and showing out so much yesterday. I did absolutely no work, because I had testimony after blessing, after testimony, after blessing, after testimony, after blessing all day long till like midnight last night. The Lord just kept showing up and blessing me over and over and over again. I got no work done, just celebrating and testifying. And the demons were mad. I was on social media saying I did no work today because I was messing around with my dad all day. And then the depraved minds hopped on there saying things like, what were you doing? Taking a shower with your dad and stuff like that? Can you imagine somebody sexualizing somebody's relationship with God? That is some serious mental depravity. And I was like, you know what? I just turned you over to Yahweh Elohim to answer for that. And I didn't forgive, bless, and release them. That one, they retained their sins for that one, and they will have to answer, because that was inappropriate. The demons were mad, y'all. The demons were mad because God kept blessing me all day yesterday, and I was just testifying. That's how you need to be. You need to be constantly testifying. And listen, this is how my ministry started back in 2012, because when God delivered my son to me after I lost custody of him and I was being railroaded in the natural court system, he asked me, will you tell people what I've done for you? And I was like, absolutely, because I was somebody who needed to see God show up big in my life, and he showed up so big, something that the natural court system had to bow to him. So, and I've been with him ever since, and I don't plan on leaving him. As another thing, I tell people all the time, there are people who are out there that claim they were Christians and are like, nah, I don't believe that anymore. It's because you didn't know them. You didn't meet them. You didn't encounter them. You didn't experience them. What you did was you had religion based on what somebody else told you, not based on what you encountered with the Godhead. You get in there with the Godhead, you ain't going nowhere, because nobody else has what they have. It is impossible. It just ain't happening, Captain. All right. I bless you in Jesus' name. Don't forget to visit us at 1123.live. Sign up for some great things over at zbinc.vip. And remember, you have what you say, so call it how you want it.